It's the principle that governs alchemy, the foundation of Fullmetal Alchemist. And at first glance, it seems like a universal truth. Equivalent exchange is the anime's moral center, a law of nature that feels instinctively fair. Nothing is gained without sacrifice. It's a system of justice, one that reinforces the idea that hard work, dedication, and effort will always yield results. There's a problem. The world of Fullmetal Alchemist itself proves that equivalent exchange is a lie, or at least an incomplete truth. Throughout the series, time and time again, we see moments where the law fails. People give and never receive. Innocent lives are destroyed without justice. And those who take without giving, those who play God, often succeed for far longer than they should. But if equivalent exchange is flawed, what is the real truth? And more importantly, what if Fullmetal Alchemist is not just a critique of its own philosophy, but a deeply Catholic story in disguise? I'm Shua, and this is Pop Culture. Edward Elric believes in equivalent exchange because it's all he has ever known. It's how he justifies his suffering, how he rationalizes the cruelty of the world. If something is taken, something must be given in return. That's why when he and Alphonse try to resurrect their mother, they believe they simply didn't pay enough. But from the very first episode, Fullmetal Alchemist challenges this idea. The Ishvalan people lose everything, yet they never broke the rules of alchemy. The Philosopher's Stone allows one to gain without loss, but at the cost of others? Father and the homunculi manipulate the world, bending it to their will, yet they suffer no immediate punishment. Equivalent exchange is not justice. It is a transactional view of morality that, when taken to its logical conclusion, allows those in power to justify the suffering of the weak. It is the same logic that fuels the state alchemists, the same reasoning that allows them to commit genocide and say, "This is the price of progress." And this is where the story begins to introduce a different kind of exchange, one that is not based on equality, but on grace. If equivalent exchange was the ultimate truth, the story of Fullmetal Alchemist would be about Ed and Al finding the perfect trade, the right amount of sacrifice to get their bodies back. But that's not what happens. Instead, every major emotional climax in the series rejects the idea of fairness in favor of something greater. Self-sacrifice, love, and redemption. Consider the most powerful moments in the series. Hohenheim does not trade to save humanity. He gives himself freely. Scar, a man who has taken so much life, does not balance the scales with more killing. He chooses mercy. Edward does not offer an equal price for Alphonse's life. He gives up everything and receives something greater in return. This is not equivalent exchange. This is divine exchange. The idea that true justice is not about fairness, but about the willingness to give oneself out of love, it is the heart of Catholic theology. In Christianity, salvation is not earned by an equal trade of good deeds and sin, but freely given by Christ's sacrifice. The most powerful form of exchange is one where you give without expecting anything in return. A love that transcends mere fairness. And this is the real message of Fullmetal Alchemist. To be human is not to seek balance, it is to embrace sacrifice. Not the sacrifice of cold, calculated transactions, but the sacrifice of love, of giving without counting the cost. By the end of Fullmetal Alchemist, Edward Elric abandons the very foundation of alchemy, equivalent exchange. He no longer believes in a world of strict transactions where every gain must be balanced by equal loss, where suffering must always be repaid in kind. He has spent his entire life trying to defy this law, trying to manipulate the universe into giving him what he wants, but in the end he realizes something profound. The world is not built on cold, mechanical fairness. Instead, he chooses to believe in something greater, that love, sacrifice, and redemption exist beyond mere fairness. That some things, the most important things, cannot be measured or weighed. The truth that grace is given, not earned, and in doing so, he embraces a truth older than alchemy itself, a truth that humbles even the most brilliant human minds, a truth that is, at its heart, deeply Catholic. The idea that God's love transcends fairness, that redemption is not about perfect balance, but about self-giving sacrifice.